A huge welcome to the Art Blog Art Lovers. I'm walking along Piccadilly to take you to a show called Impressionists on Paper at the Royal Academy. I've been looking forward to this show since it opened in November. It's now January and about midway through the run because the show shuts in March. But I'm very, very excited to go in. From obviously the title, we can imagine that this show is going to eschew the big paintings and focus on more intimate works from a range of artists. The show's subtitle is From Degas to Toulouse-Lautrec. So I'm interested to just explore some of these works, especially because Impressionism was where my love affair with art began. When I was 15, I caught the bus on my own to Paris and went to the Musée d'Orsay, which I'd read about, which at the time was like this fabulous new conversion of an old railway station. And I spent about 5 hours in the gallery, absolutely entranced. I would say it was kind of almost like a spiritual experience. So I'm one of those people who refuses to sort of dismiss the Impressionists as twee or just good enough for tea towels in suburban homes. They were a radical revolutionary art movement who bequeathed us everything that was to come, from expressionism to cubism to abstract art, by taking down the sort of desire to paint realistically. And they're also one of the ultimate modern art movements. So I love them. Got high hopes for this show. I'm expecting to be intimate. There's 72 works, so come and join me as we head inside.
The upper galleries at the Royal Academy were split into three broad themes, and these pictures just give you a sense of that, and also a sense of the size of the works, because I'm aware my vlog might be a bit misleading. I haven't actually portrayed the show in those themes. I've actually gathered the works around the different artists, so that if you have a favourite, you can hop straight to that artist by clicking on the chapter. Anyway, I'm not going to narrate this, but do sit back, enjoy the works, and I will look forward to seeing you at the end. very much hope you like that look at Impressionists on paper from the Royal Academy. Quite a comprehensive look, although I couldn't bring you everything. There was a few no photos signs. And anyway, I don't want to bring every single picture because part of the point of the art vlog is to encourage you, if you can do, to get out there and go and see the show itself. But I did enjoy the show. I think had a big, bold premise, which I like, which was to put forward the idea that Impressionism was the first art movement to really elevate paper to almost the status of canvas, and that Impressionists valued works on paper as much as works on canvas. And the show partially was successful in bearing that out. It was really interesting, actually, for me. Manet and Monet are the absolute giants of Impressionism, and they were very scarcely represented, which suggests that they may be, I mean, as we know, their most powerful works are on canvas. But the two, well, the one, Degas, who's represented multiple times, is clearly a master on paper, and that post-impressionist Cézanne was also a real highlight as well. And some of his works on paper are some of his most powerful works, in my opinion. But I did really enjoy the show, primarily because there were some exquisite drawings on show, and that's obviously one of the main reasons why we go to art galleries, to see those works of beauty. But there were also three other reasons why I particularly enjoyed this show. First of all, Impressionism, as lots of you will know, is whole point is to capture that fleeting moment in life, a fleeting mood, or a fleeting sunset, for example. And obviously works on paper lend themselves to this because you can whip it out very quickly and capture that moment. And I think three works really stood out for me in that respect. The Manet rainy street scene was just wonderful. You can imagine him just pulling out this paper and very quickly capturing it, and it was one of the first works in the show, and it was absolutely excellent. At the other end, a much more finished work was Cézanne's flower pots on his terrace in his studio. You could imagine him just waking up and seeing this and wanting to paint it. And thirdly, an artist called Nittis, I think I'm pronouncing correct, who I wasn't so aware of, in the cab, was the ultimate example of this. Is very, very brief, kind of almost photographic snapshot of a moment, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And there were lots of examples of this as well. Secondly, and leading on from that last point, I enjoyed the range of Impressionists. Yes, the big names, Renoir, Monet, Manet, Degas were represented, but also Morisot, lots of big names, but also many sort of what we might call minor Impressionists as well. And that was really pleasing to be able to engage with those works, artists who I wasn't that aware of, but some of whom's work I really enjoyed. And thirdly, the range of materials that artists use, from charcoal and pastel through to watercolor, and crayons, and even watered down oils. And it was really interesting to see how different artists migrated on paper to different techniques. For example, Degas with pastels, Cézanne with watercolors, for example. So yeah, I really enjoyed those three things. It wasn't a perfect show. I would say that the title of the show, Impressionists on Paper, was obviously a marketing ploy because the Impressionists are such a big draw. But this was much more than that. It involved many post-Impressionist artists like Gauguin and Van Gogh and Cézanne, as we said, and others, and Toulouse-Lautrec and others as well. And so it's a much broader show than just Impressionists on paper. Be prepared for that. And that's not, in my opinion, a bad thing. The other thing was obviously the very nature of works on paper mean that some of them would be finished, some of them would be incomplete and never really meant to be shown, and some of them were masterpieces, in my opinion, like this Degas painting. This Degas work on paper, but some of them were disappointing and not really. I don't think the artist had any intention of us looking at them. I absolutely love, as anyone who saw my Morisot vlog from Dulwich Picture Gallery knows, I love Berthe Morisot, but her work, her sort of landscape in the Bois de Boulogne didn't work for me, and there were several works like this which were like that. But overall, I did thoroughly enjoy it, and I do recommend it. I think I give it I was thinking about a 7.5, but I think I give it an 8 out of 10. And I would say that these works are fragile, and so this was a special show because it contains many works who maybe won't be seen in London again. Yes, some come from public collections like the Musée d'Orsay in France or the Ashmolean in Oxford, good, but lots of them came from private collections. They're fragile. Getting them out there is a real treat for us to see. It didn't quite have the energy of the Picasso on paper show, which it was kind of, which was the first ever art vlog actually, but still I did enjoy it. So yeah, do go along. It's on until the 10th of March. It's £19, £21 with donation, full price, which I think is reasonable value because these are small works, which is something the vlog probably doesn't get across, and or lots of them are small works, many of them are small works, and so you will spend a lot of time in there. Don't forget to subscribe to the art vlog, and hit that notification bell for more reviews of shows across London, the wider southeast, and hopefully this year beyond as well. And most importantly of all, wherever you live, get out there and support and explore your local art scene.